Builders in the Void. A story by user DrunkRobot97. Chapter 4. Aww. The most contact I've ever had with humans is the engineering team of them we have here on RRSS Indomitable. They're part of an exchange program. We send some of our guys over to one of their ships. They send some of theirs. We see how the both of us run things, how we treat living on a warship. I'm the captain of the Indomitable, by the way. Been so for 5 Earth years. On this ship, and others, I've seen every piece of death-dealing scum the universe could throw at me. Pirates, slavers, Flicksin rebels, rampant mechs, tunnel serpents, you name it. But one of the oddest things I've ever seen was the humans. They're not bad. Not at all. In fact, if I was a human father, I would use the words good kid to describe them. Friendly, sharp, focused on the level of a crusader. They're damn useful on any ship. The team on board has pushed Indomitable far beyond her design specs, and their suggestions for design improvements, although much of it has escaped me, must have advanced the design of the Invincible-class Dreadnought's successor by 30 Earth years. It's just that they're so weird. As in bordering on insanity weird. That old stereotype that they can read each other's minds took a long time to dispel for good reason. When I make my morning rounds through the ship and I make my way into engineering, the coordination they display is terrifying. One day I walked in, they were changing the coolant tubes in the reactor. I know that is one of the most dangerous procedures you can go through on the ship. Make a mistake, superheated coolant floods the room, followed by the reactor literally melting. Even if you do it right, it's still a 37-step operation the entire team takes part in, and could take up to 3 hours. The humans, they did it in 20 minutes, didn't break a sweat. At least I think they didn't. And nobody said more than 4 words at a time during the whole thing. No stopping for breath, no cheers of celebration, they just went on to the next task. How about that time we had to rescue a crippled shuttle stuck on an asteroid inside a gas giant's rings? Neither Indomitable or any of its shuttles could get near enough to pick it up without getting scratched by the ring, and the stranded shuttle's engines wouldn't turn on. My chief engineer, Frieda Schmidt, said, "Why don't we send a team on EVA to attach a grav crane to the shuttle's side?" You wouldn't know it by looking at her. But that woman was crazy. 4 humans walked out of the airlock into the horrifying vastness of space, crane in hand, and drifted towards the asteroid for a solid 30 minutes, with no lifeline, just their thruster packs and their 30 seconds of fuel. They landed on the asteroid, calmed the stranded survivors in the shuttle, and attached the crane and came back. No panic, no crying, no nonsense that normal people would do. The crew offered them the choice of vid for that week's vid night. They chose an old Earth classic called Gravity. They're not allowed to choose vids anymore. I never really considered the team to be a wacky bunch, though. They never, ever get excited during a project, even while taking a break in the mess hall. They're all at the same table discussing the latest issue, ironing out problems one by one, ignoring their food rations and everyone around them. These are not the humans you'd find in the clubs of Dracuni, or on the covers of Cosmo. These ones were serious, deadpan at most, with very little time for actual fun. Maybe different humans have different philosophies, regimented ways of thinking, and the serious ones go into the military? At least that's what I thought a few hours ago. Today I had slept in, so I couldn't do my rounds in the morning. I decided that I'd do them after my shift ended. I gave Lieutenant Domgis the bridge for the graveyard shift, and I went on my way. When I had reached the engineering level, I heard a noise come from there that I had never heard from a human before. Aww. It sounded like it came from the microfabrication room. My curiosity piqued, I decided to go in. I was not ready for what I saw. The entire team was huddled around a computer terminal. But this was different from the impromptu work meetings they organized. Instead of all standing straight and neutral, their behavior was similar to that of children taken to the petting zoo. Some were sitting on the couch they smuggled in from the lounge upstairs. Others were looking over each other's shoulders. Some were sitting on the ground. About half of them were drinking either juice or some alcoholic beverage. With a straw, of course. Schmidt was in the center of the group, in the chair of the monitor, tapping away at the keyboard. "Ah, Captain! We're having our post-shift break. Come, join us. Sorry we don't have anything you can drink. My attention shifted to the mini-fridge in the corner of the room. I know where you got the couch, but the fridge? What's wrong with the one in the lounge? Engine specialist Hito spoke up. It's practical to not store levo and dextro stuff in the same fridge. Nobody here wants to get killed by a steak. Then where did you get the fridge? Captain, this is a microfabrication room. Come on, Frida, next post. Schmidt turned to her subordinate in what I assumed was mock discipline. That's Chief Engineer Frida to you, Specialist? Yes, ma'am. I still didn't have a clue of what they were doing. What are you all looking at, anyway? Come see! I made my way into the group, facing the monitor. On it was the picture of two furry, four-legged creatures. One smaller than the other, but both of the same species. They seemed to be sleeping on a cushion, the larger creature holding the smaller one. It was reasonable to assume they were a parent-child pair. Cats are the absolute best thing ever. Nothing is more adorable. Hey, how about every dog that has ever lived? Cats are all right, but they're so boring next to dogs. Of course you would love hyperactive flea bags, Stephen. My Ginger back home is a right and proper little lady. Please, my Jet doesn't sit around all day scratching up the place. We would run about the park and get messy like fun people. Cut the chatter, both of you. I need the two of you alive tomorrow. This was absolutely nothing like the team I've worked with for the past few months. These people stripped down shuttles and refurbished cannons, and now they were fawning over images of cats? I'm sorry, Chief Schmidt, but I don't understand the purpose of this ritual of yours. Schmidt looks up and meets my gaze. This is a site on the human net. It's humanity's biggest collection of cute pictures. People would upload a picture of their kids or pets or whatever being cute, and everyone looks at them. But why? Because it's fun. Here, it's not just Earth life they upload. Alien pets are a big thing in human space. Schmidt clicks away from the cat photo and opens one of a Belgic pup licking a piece of snow off its nose. The whole team erupts. It's so tiny! It needs a wee coat to keep warm. Note to self, buy puppy Belgic. Oh, here's one from some nebby, Captain. I recoiled slightly upon seeing the image of a Clix sleeping on top of a human, it nuzzling into the human's neck. Isn't it precious, Captain? Frida, Clix have naturally grown steel claws. That little hatchling could tear off the human's face if it wanted. That's no excuse for it to not get any love. My aunt has a Clix, and they don't give each other any bother. Oh, look! A litter of Crofts! This is when I decided to leave them to their own devices. Bloody lunatics. Alright guys, that's going to do it for this one today. Thank you so much for watching and listening. I appreciate you as always. Like, comment, subscribe, obviously. Click the Patreon thing, the bell, all that shit. You know how it goes. I gotta get a good one, though, today. I'm trying to think. What is everyone's favorite mythological creature? For me, I mean, it's a tough one, but dragons are pretty fucking dope. And I know dragons are having quite the renaissance these days. Like, dragons are everywhere and lit at the moment. Like, fantasy and stuff like that, they are getting a huge resurgence. And all of the typical, like, you know, elves, dwarves, things like that, they're really not all that common anymore. It's interesting. But dragons? Holy shit. I blame Bad Dragon, personally. But anyway, I love you guys. I will talk to you later. Bye, y'all.